Hi, and welcome to episode 1 of Social Work Your Life. My name is Kim, and I am just going to give a brief overview of what Social Work Your Life is all about. So, there are things that we're all coping with, and some of them might be unique to you, and your circumstances may have some, I don't know, the things that happen, right? The ways that it appears. Ultimately, it can probably be put into a broad category: emotional or situational. It could be family issues. It could be housing concerns, right? Like, it has a broad sweeping. Then there's your particular circumstances that go along with it. And so social work your life is both theoretical. What do we do in these circumstances when we're having a family issue, when we're having a housing issue, when we're having a relational issue, when we're having a medical concern? Broad sweeping. And then what does it look like specifically for you in your circumstances? Because let's be honest, my circumstances are not your circumstances, and the way I would do something may not be the way you would do something. So social worker life is, I see it as boots on the ground. It's practical ways of dealing and coping with things that, as you take steps forward to make progress and make change and make personal change within yourself. Yes, definitely. While also coping with, acknowledging, and resting in the moment you're in, which may not be a very good moment. It could be a fabulous moment. It could be so exciting, but it could also be like, oh, this is terrible, right? So let's be honest. A roller coaster is overwhelming. And sometimes a roller coaster is a really good thing, and sometimes a roller coaster is a really bad thing. And any significant life change can be hard. Good, but hard. In some cases, like a wedding, right? Or moving in with somebody could be really great. Just like somebody moving out could be really great too. It could also be really hard and really not okay. And it could be really painful. And let's be honest, a wedding might also be really painful. The circumstances are weird and you never know exactly how it's all going to line up for you. So, social work your life is boots on the ground, real life conversation about how to handle the situation. And you can email me the situation. You can I can also just talk extemporaneously, and I will have people come on who can talk to circumstances and situations such as really great things that are happening, right? The excitement of a wedding or the excitement of the arrival of a baby. But there are concerns about such things. And then I will also have people come on who will want to talk about things that are a little bit heavier than that, right? Like, what does it mean to be in a domestic violence relationship? But that's not where we will always live. We will not always live in the heavy and the hard. So a little bit about me so that you know why I think I have the right to speak about such things. I am a social worker. I have a license. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in the state of Pennsylvania. I live outside of Philadelphia. I was a teacher for 12 years to both middle school and high schoolers. So I'm a certified educator. I took my education classes at a small Christian college. I can talk about that at some point, north of Boston. But I no longer subscribe to the religious teachings, though I have respect for them. I am a Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor. So for those of you who don't know what Hodgkin's lymphoma is, because I really wasn't paying much attention before I was diagnosed, it's a form of cancer, and the chemotherapy regimen for it is a doozy. However, Just because it's difficult didn't mean it wasn't successful. 85% of the people who got the regimen that I got are successful on it, and I was one of the 85%. So the beauty about Hodgkin's is it won't metastasize and it won't turn into something else and it won't come back, which is beautiful. I make the joke that I might be, well, at the time of this recording, I am 46 years old. But my lymph nodes are only 12 years old because in 2010 they were completely destroyed and brought back to life. And so I have 12-year-old lymph nodes, whereas the rest of my body is 46. What else about me? I knit. So there's that. I've also been really actively thinking about food and how I approach food, and I am a graduate of Wild Fit. So if I ever start talking about food things, just know I'm on one weird plane over here with the Wild Fit people. I am a certified tarot reader. I am an intuitive. I have some woo-woo in me. And so there are times that I'll just be like, I know this thing, but I don't know how I know it. So just to be completely upfront and candid about that. And so social work your life is ways to apply the principles of, you know, all the clinical research and documentation about what it is, that a way that you can approach this, right? I come from it from a mindfulness perspective. I'm a qualified meditation instructor through UMass Medical School. They officially call it mindfulness though, right? Qualified mindfulness instructor for mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR. But I also will branch out into non-MBSR meditations and will bring you into places that are not necessarily researched, I guess. I mean, it's all meditation, right? But it's more guided imagery than it is like traditional Hindu Buddhist meditation. And in that, I am not doing therapy. I am not a therapist in this instance. I'm a guide. I'm a coach. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I can do therapy. I can bill social insurance companies if I wanted to for therapy practice. I have been a therapist to middle schoolers and high schoolers, and to adults. Like I do and have done therapy. However, in my role in social worker life, it is more a coaching experience, and it's more me taking the knowledge I have from all of these different areas and pulling them together and bringing them into one nice, neat little package that helps you put boots on the ground about how you're going to navigate the situations and the circumstances that may be overwhelming for you. Because sometimes overwhelming circumstances need a little help, and sometimes we need a little help when we're overwhelmed. And I have nothing but compassion for that. I have a diagnosed anxiety disorder that I maintain my by meditating, right? I could live at a high frequency mosquito buzz all the time, but I don't, because I practice and I sit and I offload some of that extra energy. And I think at this level, I may have actually gotten myself to a space where I recognize when a panic attack is imminent and I am able to breathe through it. And I haven't had one in a while. And when I did, it lasted about 2 minutes, and then I was able to just let it go. So, I want to share all of that with you about how to handle your own challenging life experiences. And if you want to come on and talk with me, we will talk it out together. If you want to email me your questions, I will take your questions. There'll be an email address in the notes. And if there is anything that I can do to support you on this journey, that's what I want to do, because this life is not necessarily for the faint of heart. It's not. I came to believe through Hodgkin's lymphoma that in some ways dying is really easy. Not that I'm saying suicide's okay, because I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that it's easy to take an exit. It is not always easy to confront and do the hard things. And this life can be a bit of a roller coaster. I have a life book. If you want to Google what that means, go for it. But I'm working on right now, as I talk and I'm doing this recording, I am working on my life book. But if you are listening to this anytime in the next couple of months from my recording, my life book will be finished, and I have a life book. Life book is put out by John and Missy Butcher. And one of the things that he says, John Butcher says, is that you can do self-help programs all you want, and until you actually apply the principles and make them daily, they're not going to make necessarily any difference in your life. If you want to improve any area of your life, no matter what it is, you've got to... Oh, this is me not being able to read my own handwriting now. This is embarrassing because I'm being recorded. If we... Okay. Because the cause of the effect you... Oh, can we skip? Can we cut this? I'm going to cut this. See a way to cut this. Okay. If you want to improve any area of your life, no matter what it is, you've got to do something to create that improvement. No matter what it is, you have the ability to do the work and make it get done, right? John Butcher's like, if you don't do the work, you're not going to change. Well, I'm all for, yes, let's do the work and do the change. But sometimes, what's the work? What is it that I need to do? And what is it that I'm working on? And how do I do it? That's where we are. So my role and my goal is to help you navigate the waters of this life in a way that, yes, you might be in rapids, and yes, you might need to paddle through them, and yes, you might need to lean into some rocks so you don't lose your balance and don't tip out of your boat. But at the same point, all of us are navigating rough waters at times, and all of us are navigating smooth, calm waters. And every life event has the opportunity to be something really great or something really challenging. And maybe it's both, because I will tell you, I did not want to do Hodgkin's. I did not want to do chemo. I was like, at that point, I was a hardcore Christian. I was like, I will be healed and I will not have to do the chemotherapy. And I went and I had people lay hands on me all the time so that I didn't have to do chemo. And I had to do chemo. Did not want to do chemo. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that I was miserable and pissy and sick and terrible. And I sat on a couch and I had zero energy. And I was like 33. My mom was making me dinners every night because I just couldn't move. However, everybody told me, this is doing great things. You'll be different on the other end. This will be so fabulous. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And on the other end of the thing I really, really didn't want to do, I found this other life. I blossomed into a social worker. I changed my experiences. I was not happy teaching, and I brought myself into a space where I got myself into a job that I really liked, and then I got myself into a job I liked even more. And now I'm getting myself into a job I call the job I like wanted ever since I was very little. So all of that to say, if it hadn't been for Hodgkin's, I might not have cocooned up and then allowed the caterpillar of me to liquefy in order to become the butterfly I am today. And at the time when people told me this is going to be a life-changing experience and it's going to be so great, I was a Christian, so I would not have flipped them the bird. But now, as who I am, now, yes, they get the bird because they're not the ones who had to walk the journey. Even my mom, who walked the journey next to me, she had her own journey being a mom of a cancer patient, right? Like she had a completely different journey than I did. And my journey wasn't so easy on both of us. So I just want you to know that I hold everybody's journeys as a wonderful and terrible sacred event as you grow. And whatever the pain is and however you happen to feel about it, that is your experience, and I have nothing but respect for it. So welcome to Social Work Your Life. I'm Kim, and I will be your tour guide on this journey as we move forward together and discover the nuggets of gold inside the crappy rock you have to sometimes break open to find. All right. I wish you amazing, and I'll talk to you soon.